We've got to talk about guard ball. Hello, guys. My name is Nicholas Harrell, and welcome back to another edition of Baseball Talk with your old brothers. And today, with the result of last night's game, I'm currently recording this at 1:30 on September the 24th. Game 2 between the Guardians and the Tigers will be tonight, and that'll be between Jack Flaherty and Tanner Bybee. But with last night's win for the Cleveland Guardians, they are now tied with the Detroit Tigers at 85 and 72, and they have won the season series with last night's win as well, with 2 games remaining against these Detroit Tigers. So they have clinched the tiebreaker over these Detroit Tigers as well. So what does that mean? 5 games to go. They just have to match what the Tigers do. Win the next 2 games, I believe they're division champs. Because they would go up they'd be up 2 games with 3 games to go. But if they sweep the Tigers, that puts them in a very, very good position to win the division. And the ultimate question is, can the Cleveland Guardians create history this year? Because there's a few things that the Cleveland Guardians are looking to do that have never been done before. Let's start with this. Back on July the 8th, the Cleveland Guardians were sitting in 4th place in the division. They were behind the Royals and the Twins, who sold literally everybody at the deadline. What happened from then? What was the situation there? They were down 15 and a half games behind the Detroit Tigers. They were 42 and 48. And now it's actually after they won their previous 2 games. Didn't really matter, though, because the Detroit Tigers were on a 5-game winning streak at that point, and it was a 15-and-a-half game deficit. And then and that was the largest deficit that the Cleveland Guardians have been in there all year long. So we continue on. We head into September. On September 1st, the Cleveland Guardians are in 2nd place in the division. They are 9 games out, though. Actually, my bad. On September 1st, they were 3rd place in the division, 10.5 games out, behind not only the Detroit Tigers, but the Kansas City Royals, who were 70 and 67 at the time. The Guardians were an even 68 and 68, 10.5 games back heading into September. What's the significance of this, though? Well, there's 2 things that the Cleveland Guardians can do that have never been done in Major League history. First of all, no team has ever come back from down 15.5 games in the regular season to win a division. They would do that. They were down 15.5 games on July the 8th behind the Detroit Tigers. No team has also erased a deficit of over 10 games in the month of September to win a division. They were 10.5 games out on September the 3rd, actually, and they were in 3rd place at that time. So the Cleveland Guardians are trying to do something that has never been done before. And how are they doing this? Because they have 2 players in their lineup right now who have an OPS plus above 100, above average hitters. 2. Jose Ramirez, Kyle Manzardo. Well, it's that starting rotation, and it's their bullpen. It's their pitching in general. Because I believe in their last 19 games, they've given up 30 runs. Yes, 19 games, 30 runs. Less than 2 runs a game. They've had breakouts from Gavin Williams, from Parker Messick. Tanner Bybee has been pitching much better as of late. Their rotation has just clicked, and that's even after losing Luis Ortiz Jr. Oh, yeah, they also lost one of the best closers in baseball, Emmanuel Clase. Both Ortiz and Clase to gambling suspicions and scandals. So the Guardians at one point were 15.5 games out, 10.5 in September, had lost a starting rotation arm and one of the best relievers in baseball, and have just continued to pluck away. Now, obviously, there's two sides to the story here when it comes to this run that the Cleveland Guardians have made. You don't erase 10.5 games in September by just winning baseball games, which the Cleveland Guardians are 17-5 in the month of September so far. You need a little bit of help to overcome a 10.5 game deficit, and that is exactly what they've gotten from the Detroit Tigers. And a little bit of help is underselling it a little bit there. The Tigers are 5-14 in the month of September. They're currently on a 7-game losing streak. They've lost 9 of their last 10 games, and they have been in an absolute free fall. the Detroit Tigers, and they've lost game one of the series against this Cleveland Guardians team as well. I think the Guardians hold on and win this division. I really, really do. Because we kind of saw the writing on the wall with the Detroit Tigers here about during the trade deadline. I wanted them to be a little bit more aggressive. They need to go out and get a good starting pitcher to help that rotation. So you're not relying on Casey Mize, Jack Flaherty as your 2 or your 3, because Jackson Job's been out all year and he's going to miss some time next year as well. They went out and they got Kyle Finnegan in the bullpen, which has been good, but then he got hurt. And they got Charlie Morton, who they just DFA'd. The Tigers, where they failed, was at the trade deadline. They have the farm system to go out there and make improvements without even trading a Max Clark, a Kevin McConnell, someone like that. They have depth in that organization to be able to go out there and make moves, and they just failed to do so. And keep in mind, this is a Cleveland Guardians team that traded away Shane Bieber at the trade deadline, who is about to come back from Tommy John surgery. And this is a team that really did nothing as well, but they've just played guard ball. And this is what makes me like this Cleveland team so much, and why they're my AL Central team, really, is the way I like to look at them. I'm a fan of this team, and I want to see them go far, especially with the run they've made, because it confuses me how the Cleveland Guardians have done this. It really has, because they're really good at pitching, but like a while ago, it's like I was looking at this team and it's like, I don't know what they do well other than they're good at winning baseball games. I don't know how they do it, because it's definitely not their offense. It's definitely their pitching staff, but like even at some points this year, it's like that was not even the greatest, and they were still winning baseball games. So this is a story that I just wanted to do a video on, talk about it for a few minutes and things along those lines, to talk some guard ball, because we got to acknowledge what the Cleveland Guardians have done to make it to this point right now. Because, I mean, even if they lose tonight, they're still in a position to be in a wild card spot at the very least, because they do have the tiebreaker over Houston as well, I believe. They won the season series against the Astros. So they would make it over the Astros right now if they would have the same record, which the Astros win. And if the Tigers won tonight against the Guardians, they would be tied with the Astros, and they would still have the tiebreaker. So let me know in the comment section below, where do you think this Cleveland team goes? Do you think they hold on to the division? Do they fall down to the wild card? Do they make this run and then fall apart the last couple of games of the season? And I just want to make a little bit of a bold take here that I'm going to end the video on here. If the Cleveland Guardians win the American League Central and they get the 3 seed in the American League, they will represent the American League in the World Series. I think that this is because when you look at playoffs and things along those lines, what teams have usually the best success in the playoffs? The ones that are the hottest heading in. And I don't think there's a hotter team in baseball right now than the Cleveland Guardians. So there's my take right there. If they hold on and they win the Central Division, they will represent the American League in the World Series this year. But that's going to do it for this one. I want to thank you guys, as always, for watching. Let me know in the comment section below, what do you guys think about this Cleveland Guardians team? How do you think their season will finish? Do you think they hold on to the division? Do you think they get a wild card spot? Let me know in the comment section down below. But that's going to do it for this one. I want to thank you guys, as always, for watching, and we'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out, guys.